When you hear the word saint, what do you think of? Perhaps you think of people who lived in the time of Christ or in the Middle Ages, centuries ago. You might think of icons of pious-looking men and women in priestly garb or in a nun's habit. You might think of people who heard voices or who suffered unimaginable torture. And you would be right. Many of the Catholic saints and blesseds would appear to fit into those tidy little boring boxes. But when we put our saints and blesseds in those boxes, we do them a disservice and ourselves and God. For the saints were all people, just like you and me. They fought with their parents, their spouses, their children, priests, bishops, even popes. And sometimes they hurt people badly. Some saints were outcasts because of the way they dressed or the way they talked, or because people couldn't see beyond their disabilities. Others wondered why God made them that way and why he stopped talking to them. Still others wondered why God talked to them quite so much, even when they were trying to fix dinner for their families. Some saints traveled thousands of miles for God, and some never left their hometowns. Some died in ways that had to be designed by the devil. Some died safely in their own beds. One thing they all had in common was a love for God, no matter how much they were tested. And another thing they all had in common was their confidence that they were loved by God. How many saints do you think Catholics recognize? 500? 1,000? 5,000? It might surprise you to know that no one really knows. The number is somewhere over 10,000, but it's not precise. That's because for a long time, becoming a saint was a bit of a popularity contest. And if you died a horrible death, or had money, or drew the attention of somebody who had money, well, that didn't hurt either. In the 10th century or so, the papal offices started becoming more involved to ascertain whether the person being considered for sainthood was truly worthy. And then in 1983, Pope John Paul II, whose own canonization was declared in 2013, updated the procedures to have the canonization process begin at the local level. He also removed the requirement that a devil's advocate be named in each case to make the case against why the person should be canonized. During his 26 years as Pope, John Paul II proclaimed 480 people as saints or blesseds. Blesseds are a step below a saint. That's more than every other pope since 1588 combined. As soon as the diocesan effort begins, the person is referred to as a servant of God. Once his or her heroic virtues are recognized, venerable is tacked on to the front of that title. The person receives the blessed title when it's determined he or she was a martyr, or alternatively, that a miracle occurred as a result of someone praying with that person. And that's an important distinction too. Catholics don't pray to saints, we pray to God. We pray with saints and we ask for their intervention. A second miracle is typically required for sainthood, which comes with a feast day beyond the home diocese. You don't have to be a priest or nun to become a saint. In fact, the Catholic Catechism notes, all Christians in any state or walk of life are called to the fullness of Christian life and to the perfection of charity. All are called to holiness.